This is Pod Populi, podcast for the people.
Welcome to the Real Pink Diaries, a podcast about the beautiful chaos of figuring it out as you go.
Hosted by three close friends, each episode creates a safe space for honest, unfiltered conversations about the in-between moments of adulthood.
From building businesses to setting boundaries, we're here for all of it. With humor, vulnerability, and heart. It's not always polished or perfect. It's the Real Pink Diaries.
Welcome to the Real Pink Diaries. Here we are. This is Natalie.
Amy.
And Melissa.
And I'm so excited. This is our 5th episode.
I know.
We made it through the 5th.
I'm so excited. Like we've managed to keep it going.
Yeah, we managed to keep it going.
And it's about work-life balance today, right?
Yeah. How are you guys feeling?
Ooh, actually excited and motivated. I'm motivated for this one.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to talking about all these topics today. What about you, Missy?
Oh, I think it will be a really great conversation.
Yeah. I think so too.
Yeah, because like whether you have like you're fulfilled in your job or outside your job with your life, or everybody's going through the motions, right? But at the end of the day, we want to have a fulfilling life and we want to balance everything as best we can so we can have that fulfilled life.
Exactly.
You know?
I think that's our main goal.
Yeah.
Most of us.
Most of us.
and just have a nice life.
Yeah. So we're going to get into like myth versus reality. Myth versus reality.
Yeah.
Like what it looks like from the outside to have a balanced life, or what you think it might mean to get a balanced life, and how to really accomplish it.
What it really means.
Yeah. So I'm going to list 6 different things, and where did we get this?
So yeah, the episode today is going to be most of the things based on the book, The One Thing, which I think was really, very helpful to listen to. And I've listened to the book like probably 3 times in the recent 7 years. I don't know, I keep coming back to the book, but it's really good. And so most of the myth versus reality things that we're going to talk about, success, balance, what that really means, and work-life situations is going to be based on this book. And it's called The One Thing by Gary Keller and Jay Papasan. And I apologize if I didn't say the last name properly, but
sounds right to me.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk about the 6 ideas of myths, what they could mean. So the first one is everything matters equally. The second thing is about multitasking and how to really accomplish that. A disciplined life means that you need to be rigid all the time. Willpower on will call. A balanced life and how to achieve it. And big is bad. You shouldn't have dreams.
Big dreams. You shouldn't dream big. Yeah.
Don't dream big.
Yeah, the judgment.
Yeah. So let's get into everything matters equally.
Yeah, so everything matters equally is kind of like that balance. So even I'm guilty of that. I've said that before. I want a more balanced life. So really that is a myth. It's a lie of success, because everything doesn't matter equally.
Yeah.
So sometimes you have, if you're running a business like yourself, Amy, that you have, your architectural projects, and sometimes you're away from your family for hours long days. I mean, you come back and forth, but sometimes you have to really, and the same like myself, sometimes I have the busy time of my season of my business, working on weekends and doing more things, so I have to dedicate more time than usually to work, and then you always bounce back to your family and your life, but that's kind of...
It's creating the priority is not always the same at the same time. So you focus what can I excel at right now for this period of time, and it doesn't have to be everything. It can just be one thing, right? And then that might shift throughout the day or throughout the week even, so that you're not juggling all balls in the air all at once and trying to, do everything all at once. It's your only attention is on one element, and then you can continue on with the rest of your life, so that is thrown up in the air. And then when that's successfully done, then you focus on something else, and that's thrown up in the air. And so it's a balance.
To achieve success, to achieve results, because you have to focus your attention on what matters the most at that time.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's just everything gets shortchanged, but nothing really gets to the full extent of success or fully done.
There was
to
something
the
that you
extreme.
wrote here that I really liked. It was about success is about doing the right thing, not about doing everything right.
Right,
And
yeah.
I was like, oh, that hits so true to me. And like, because sometimes I do get overwhelmed because I'm like, I need to do this, I need to do that, I need to do
Yeah.
this, and then it just nothing ever gets done because I
Yeah.
feel so overwhelmed.
Yes.
That bouncing back between work life, personal life, and
assigning priorities,
Yeah.
right? And dedicating the time that deserve to that priority.
yeah, I think so. I think
And
that's really
attention
important.
and energy, obviously.
And just in general, the second thing is multitasking, which goes into like when you're doing that one thing, you're diving really extreme into it, right?
Right. And multitasking really is, our brain cannot multitask. Even if you really believe that, is not possible. We shift attention shortly between things, but you cannot be fully focused in two things at exactly the same time. That's impossible scientifically. So when you're switching between tasks without completing the first task and moving on to the next one, just the amount of time it takes to do both those things is
Yeah.
going to be longer than just try to do one thing, finish it, and move on to the next thing. Also, there is more room for mistakes.
That's what I was gonna say. Yeah.
Definitely. And I can relate to that because my previous job, it was constantly that. I was not allowed to focus, have my undivided attention on one task at a time. So I had to constantly be juggling different things, and I felt like I made more mistakes because of that. And
Yeah.
I was like, my brain was like, woo, that was crazy. and I'm a person that when I'm focused on something, I'm laser focused. Like, I don't hear nothing else. You have to like call me 3 times to get me out of my zone.
Me too. Especially when I'm designing, I'm like that. I'm like
Yeah.
super straight. But yeah, what were you saying?
So you guys are business owners. Then that's like 5 different jobs wrapped into one, right? You have like bookkeeping, you have correspondence
production,
or production
Yeah.
or scheduling.
Billing.
Yeah, and then you have clients calling you at all times. Like how do you know? Like how do you figure out what is the right thing to do? But I guess we'll figure that out in the next section.
we will.
Yeah.
But it's a good question because I make a priorities list, or like I have a task list of like, okay, what are the more priorities? And honestly, you have to be open for that to shift because sometimes it's not always what you think is happening. Like the other day, a client called with a kind of an emergency on site, and I had to shift my day to address that just because it was like more priority than everything else I had planned. And then I have to, communicate with the other clients that you're not going to get this today, you're going to get it tomorrow, all this other stuff. So it's a constant
Expectations.
shift. Yeah, expectations and shift. But at the same time, you don't want to be so rigid in life, and you don't have to be the most disciplined thing all the time, right? You want I do have a business because I like the flexibility of my personal life.
Yes.
So that kind of leads into like the disciplined life. Success isn't about perpetual discipline.
Short, intense discipline, establishing a habit. Yes. And I think that's very important. I don't think it's also feasible that you are expected to be rigid and disciplined 24 hours a day.
Also, you're
every
not a fun
day.
person. No one's going to want to be near you.
No, but everybody wants like positive, fun energy around them. So most people want that. So anyhow, like disciplined life is more about just having that discipline to build successful habits.
Yeah.
And that would become that person, right? If you have those habits that are gonna lead you to be more successful, more efficient, then you don't have to think about, I have to, that discipline part. It kind of becomes part of you
And
as you build those.
Yeah, I think that's pretty accurate. I mean, like you can't
It's
just
not
be
easy.
in a constant state of stress all the time trying to accomplish all the things.
No.
Like that's not a life. No one wants that.
So why does it matter? Why does
Why does what?
this whole idea of like work-life balance why does it matter?
Well, it matters if you're trying to build a business, a successful life. You want to be able to allocate your energy and attention on your priorities and what matters the most at the time. And
Right, but like it's also like your mental health, right?
Oh,
At the
yeah,
end
yeah.
of the day, it's like, why? Because you want to be mentally healthy. You want job satisfaction, relationship satisfaction. You want long-term success in whatever you're doing. So, I mean, burnout is real. Chronic stress is real. I actually just experienced, the last 2 weeks were very stressful for me, and my arm just stopped working, and now I have to go see my friend Katie, who's a physical therapist and amazing. But like I lost significant strength in my hand and movement in my arm just because of stress on my body.
Yeah.
And it's a chronic thing that's been happening for a while. We haven't quite figured out what's going on. I do have a tear somewhere, but anyway.
That's an example.
Yeah, and I do the exercises. Like I want to have a balanced life, so I have to do exercising, right, to maintain it. And it's really cute. My daughter like hands me the little thing that I have to exercise with all the time while she's playing with her toys because she thinks it's my toy.
Yeah.
So it's like a fun little reminder that she's there giving it to me. But yeah, I mean, work-life balance, it's not just about a business and work. It's about your life and how you want to take control over it.
Yeah, and you want to, and this, I think all of us, as we get older, we'll learn how to handle stress better.
Yeah.
Because we've gone through the experiences, we know what happens. Like when I was younger, I didn't even think about stress. I was just go, and more and more and more until what happened one day.
Yeah.
And I broke out and then broke down, and I had the health crisis and all of that. And I learned that I have to stop, and you have to be proactive with your health. Not when something happens bad, then you have to take action, but you have to take small actions proactively so you don't get to burnout, right?
Yeah, and then when you hit that rock bottom with your health, especially, it really puts things into perspective. On why balance matters.
Like now you ask me, what is your number one? Health.
Yeah, your number one thing is health.
And just peace, health, and happiness and joy.
Yeah.
That's what I ask. But the number one is health.
Yeah, we're talking for the number one thing is the number one priority you're maintaining for your balanced life.
Yeah.
So her number one thing is health.
Yeah, and the book talks about the one thing is obviously like establishing that priority, but also applying that to your daily business routine, your daily, whatever your business looks like.
Yeah, so it's like the reason you want a balanced life is your one thing, and then during the day it might be multiple things is the one thing to achieve that.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I'm going to read the question here because probably going to read better. And they call it the focusing question.
Oh.
And it's like what it's going to do is like the first domino.
Okay.
What is going to cause that effect that everything else in your day is going to be better, easier, or unnecessary. So the question is like, what's the one thing I can do such that by doing it, everything else will be easier or unnecessary? So the book talks about how you should ask this in every part of your life, every part of your day. And if you're doing something related with work, maybe something related with your health or other activity you're doing, is constantly checking what is your priority. Yeah.
I mean, reflecting and asking yourself, am I going down a rabbit hole of like wasting my time just staring at something or just thinking about something that has nothing to do with what I'm doing? Like, am I distracted? It's, being laser focused on the one thing to get you to the next thing, in that domino effect.
Yeah, and I don't know if this happens to you, but the lists. I'm a big, like I have my calendar, I put reminders in there, and then I have my little notebook that I have my lists in there. Yeah. But I've learned like how sometimes as you remember, you put things down, but that doesn't mean necessarily that's the priority, how they should get done. It feels nice checking.
Or crossing it off.
But do you guys ever like kind of like allow the maybe like sometimes I'm like, well, like my goals, by my goals, I should go home and do this, or this. But are you ever like, and I just really just want to go to Publix and get some cleaning supplies? Like
that downtime.
Yeah, like you're just like, I just kind of want to go to the Publix and get those cleaning supplies.
Yeah, well, I think that's to the disciplined life isn't all the time. Right. And my about lists. So my husband is a very big list person, but he's a list person for everything, for vacations, for what we're doing on the weekend. We have to write down, and I'm just like, I I just want a moment to not think about the list
Yeah.
and to sit on the couch and zone out for a second so I can like, rejuvenate my mind, or just relax and, have that downtime so that I can function highly on another time. And he's like, well, put that on the list. I'm like, that's not what I'm talking about.
Not lists.
He's
today.
a very big list person, let me tell you. And we get in fights like, I'm not writing a list. I'm not doing it on the weekends.
Amy,
It's.
This is something I've learned, like when I was working in the same field as your husband. Planners plan.
Yeah, they are big planners, yeah.
Yeah,
but
so
it's
he's
it's everything. I think my one thing, if I had to ask myself, it would be to have a fulfilled life that I could be shared with my partner. Like whatever that means. Like I want to share my fulfilled life with someone. So that's like my one thing.
That's really beautiful.
Yeah. Do you have a one thing, miss?
Yeah.
I don't know if I want to get into that right now. But I can talk about some stories when I know I didn't. Well, when things kind of got too much on the one thing and unbalanced. Remember when we were in school and didn't sleep for days when it was finals?
Oh my gosh, those days.
Yeah.
If probably people know out there, but architectural career is
crazy. We're crazy
really
people.
crazy.
I had a girl, this is a very, very off tangent thing, but like we were making models really, really late at night, and she, with X-Acto knives on a lot of lack of sleep, a lot of jittery coffee moments, so not the healthiest, fulfilled, balanced life. And she literally cut the corner, a chunk of her thumb off.
I had the same experience.
Oh, no, she threw it in the trash and wrapped it up and said, I don't have time to fix this. And then continued making the model. And her only worry was, I hope I don't get blood on my model for presentation.
Oh my gosh.
Like so focused down I'm going to do this one thing. Like that's out of balance. You think you're trying to accomplish a goal, but to the extreme where it's very not only unhealthy, but crazy.
Oh my gosh. I have a very similar, it wasn't me, thank God, because I don't know what I would have done. But my friend, I remember it was like 2-3 in the morning, and we were building these models. Obviously, we are always running out of time, and we have the deadlines and the stress and the pressure, and we have to get this done, right? Always last minute. Not like we play things last minute, but the deadlines, it's just, you never seem to have plenty of time to do everything you need to do.
No.
And it was like obviously nights without sleep and just trying to get this done. And she comes to me with a towel, like holding her finger.
No.
I'm like, what happened? And obviously she tells me the same thing.
She cut her finger off.
Yep.
Basically.
She said, we need to go to the clinic. She
actually went. Good for her.
She has some sanity, yeah. So, but the funny part, I ran to the clinic and I got there before she was. I was so scared, more scared than she was. And I almost fainted. Oh my gosh. I always remember that. But she's okay.
Yeah.
It grew back most of it. She's fine. It was nothing.
I mean, at school, talking about unbalanced life, I would plan my time to sleep, not my all-nighters, because that was happening more frequently. My all-nighters were more frequent, and then I would after 2 days, I would sleep, and then after 3 days, I would sleep, and then I would crash for 3 days, and then continue working for 3. Like, it was just, you had the weirdest schedule for sleep, and that is not sustainable.
It's not healthy.
Yeah, so maybe we should kind of explain architecture school for those
it's just anyone who has a very grueling professional education.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the thing about architecture school, and I'm sure every other discipline takes the same amount of rigor, but architecture school just requires a lot of time and production. Even in the field or in practice, it just takes
forever to make a building.
Yeah. And so like the production time is kind of what eats away at your soul in school because you also have your like core academic classes, and then because we were at SCAD, you had your like art school classes, like art history and stuff like that.
And it's not painting and just having fun, I promise.
No, they're very rigorous. It's
crazy.
It's almost like architecture school is almost like, in a way, it's like a vocational training, but at the same time, when you get into practice, the stuff that you learned in school in some ways goes out the window because practice is so much different than education. But you can't. But when you get the education that does influence. It's
Well,
a weird.
you always have deadlines with both, right? At the end of the day, there's a time you have to manage your time well. There's deadlines for both practice and education. And I think understanding like even the business side of it, or the job stress that people may have of like, oh, I have to either if it's traveling or seeing your kids enough or whatever it is. There's so many job stressors out there that like people need to find their balance, whatever that is.
Yeah. And I think taking small breaks is very important. Just being proactive with your health, not taking action not when you need it, but just try not to need it. Like try to just be mindful of listening to your body, know your signs. You're getting there. Just take a break, do something else different. But stress in general. The school was very stressful for all of us. I mean, I didn't went through 5 years of architecture, but I did almost a year and a half of architecture in Cube.
Never mind.
And I have to say, the added stress that we had in addition to all of that was like trying to find materials. We didn't have materials to build models, so we had to go out to like the city and ask for the places that they would frame, the paintings, frame art.
Yeah.
And just ask for the pretty much the things that the leftovers that the
scraps.
The scraps. So you had to and we would just pick those, and with that we would do our models.
That's kind of cool though. It's like make it work kind of moment, right?
But anyhow, that was a tangent. But
well, that's a barrier. You also had a barrier with like your language in your professional life, right? Like
yes.
So that's even more on top of.
Oh my gosh, I can't remember the first jobs that I had. I think the very first job was kind of stressful in that sense, because I was obviously I got here in the same year I got my job, thankfully, in architecture. I sent emails to everybody in the world, like all companies I found online, and I got my first job. And I was doing in Spain hospitality, working at restaurants and bakeries, whatever, but I didn't want to do that here. So I was really trying to get into the architectural. So just learning like the system, changing from the metric system to inches and, feet and all of that, and relearning everything in addition to the language.
Yeah.
And answering phones.
And it's a different language. Like every profession has its own quirky little language, whether you're, medical has the Latin roots, but we in the architecture profession, we use common words and give them different meanings. Yes. Like it's really funny.
So going from like professional or like from education or academia into real world, like you do get a little bit better, right? You like in school, I always kind of admired, particularly like the older students or people that had taken some time off and came back, or like the people that had children, because they were able to kind of manage their time, and they realized like making sure they just had it. They kind of knew it.
They knew how to value their time, and so they didn't waste time trying to think of things. They were just, they had an idea, they thought about it, they executed it, and they moved on to the next thing, like the domino idea, instead of us where we're trying to juggle everything and it just was not working out.
Yeah, and that's something that like, like I mean, who hasn't had like poor boundaries with either like work or poor boundaries with like take that's
more than that you can't handle.
Yeah, so let's talk about like what gets in the way. What gets in the way of making a balanced life? You're talking about poor boundaries. Yeah, I agree with that. And what was you said you wrote something in the thing about always on culture. You want to talk about that?
Oh, like if you're like you always answer the phone. Like if someone needs you, you'll always answer the phone. Like doesn't matter what time it is, whatever, you'll always answer the phone.
Yeah.
Or always on to like responding to notifications on your phone, or always on like how do you know how to like
technology,
when do you stop?
social media. A lot of the distractions that we have nowadays is definitely gets in the way.
I think so. I mean, also perfectionism, having it to be perfect, right? Yeah. So like that was something I had to overcome. It's like, it's perfect enough for now.
I struggle with the same thing. Also, like if I go in with I go like 200%. So if I don't do it to 100%, I go to 0%. And
Yeah.
no, you have to learn the middle. Like
I know.
sometimes you can do little by little every day.
I
And
think
you don't have to go all the
think-
way just at one time,
Yeah,
right? You can just
I
take in-
agree. I'm learning that, it's going to be okay and it can be improved tomorrow. And that is okay. You can go to sleep now.
Right. And even like reading a book, I'm like, okay, if I can do 30 minutes today, I may be able to do 5 minutes and
Yeah.
do 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Just instead of doing nothing, just at least do something, a little bit. Just remove that pressure. Yeah.
Yeah, I asked, I at the end of this, I was like, okay, what's a tiny, like, small little takeaway from the end of this? And I think, Natalie, you said, I will wake up at 5:30 every morning and do this, and this. And I'm like,
It was a lot.
what
It
time
was
do
a
you
lot
wake
of-
up now? Like 7, with Ethan. And then if he wanted it, I'm like,
I'm still trying to do that.
no, I mean, I
You're
get it.
definitely all or nothing type of person generally.
Yeah, like if I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it big. So like I think another thing is like your body will kind of tell you when you're out of whack eventually. Like you can only go without sleeping for so many days and then you just crash.
Yeah, and you can be as productive, and that's also like willpower. We talk about that. I don't know if we mentioned that, but it's part of like handling your willpower. You're not gonna have the same amount of energy throughout the day, so it's gonna decline as it gets later in the day. So just trying to manage your time and energy earlier in the day and do the most important things earlier in the day versus leaving those bigger tasks towards the end of the day. That helps. Also, nutrition, like feeding your body the right foods will help with your energy levels and focus as
Yeah.
well.
So have you guys ever had an experience where like from the outside looking in, like, wow, that person is doing fabulous, but inside you're like, I'm dying a slow and painful death.
Right here.
So can you tell us about that? Do you feel comfortable sharing?
I can share. So I volunteered at a professional architecture organization called the AIA, not AA. It's AIA.
Thank you for the clarification.
And not A1A, which is
Yeah,
the road that
right.
gets mixed up a lot here.
Yeah,
You'd be
in
surprised.
Florida. That's a road in Florida. But yeah, I was volunteering and I was locally, and I wasn't. My problem was I have a problem with asking for help. So I do everything on my on
And
my own
what
shoulders.
about delegating?
Yeah. Didn't learn that skill yet.
Yeah.
In that part of my life, and I was just trying to do everything all at once, and I wasn't as fulfilled in my personal job. So this was the thing that was going to fulfill my life, and I poured my heart and soul into it, and I actually became kind of. Really helpful in this position, this volunteer position. And I started getting like acknowledged for it. I got a few awards here or there, and people were like looking up to me in the profession among the younger generation, because that was my role, was with the emerging professionals. And it looked like I had my shit together. It looked like, I'm winning this thing, and I'm going to this event, and I'm speaking to this person. And I did learn a lot, and I did connect myself really well locally, but I was dying inside because I wasn't sleeping. I was trying to do everything myself. This thing that was fulfilling me became my arch nemesis in a sense, and I needed to take a step back because I was losing myself in it.
Yeah.
So I really had to retreat, because I did it for years. It wasn't just like I did it for multiple years. And then I had someone come up to me like, I thought you moved because I haven't seen you in a while.
You're like, no, I just went
I
out.
just needed to
took a
take a
long
step
break.
back and
Like-
find myself again. And that wasn't a professional self. I needed to
Right.
find my personal self.
Yes.
And that's really, really important.
Yes,
Yeah,
it
I
is.
think.
And that comes with maturity, and as you get older and you go through all these experiences in your life, you learn
Yeah.
from it. And that's part of, you learn from mistakes, and just to not be afraid of take action and make mistakes, because that's how you grow and you progress, and you keep just moving to a bigger step and making bigger steps. But also, I wanted to mention different stages of life.
Yeah, that too. Yeah.
Single, married, being a mom versus not being a mom, and all these different things.
Yeah.
Corporate,
versus corporate
having a
employee
business.
versus having a business. Yeah.
Flexibility. I mean, some people have more flexibility. Even in a corporate job, they have more flexibility than others with their hours or their lives.
Some people don't have all the resources to make or to find a way easily to have a balanced life.
Yeah.
So reaching out to people that you wouldn't normally reach out to helps you with that balanced
Yeah.
life and being a little bit vulnerable for your needs.
Yeah.
You know.
And being humble. I always
Yeah.
been very humble. My parents
Yeah.
always teach me that, and I am so grateful for that, because I always, when I talk to people, I'm like, I definitely don't know it at all. everything, and I'm learning every day. And you learn from everybody.
Yeah.
And just being opening that door to allow people to help you get better. And when they read that, they really want to help you.
Yeah.
When they read that you don't have that wall in front of you, say, oh, I know it all, I don't need your help. Like, then that doesn't, I'm very humble in that sense. Like,
Yeah.
I like to, and I know, I mean, there's so much that we have to learn, all of us, every day we do. So,
Like, I tried to create a balanced life by like getting into plants. I've killed almost everything I've tried to grow. It's a struggle. And my mom has the greenest thumb. I'm like constantly stealing plants and killing them from her. It's such a bad cycle. And I'm really working, but I'm like determined. Like I love plants so much that I just want it to happen. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. Like I'm either overwatering it or I'll like forget about it for like a few weeks and I'm like, oh wow, I forgot that. And I'm just not having a consistent schedule for my plants have resulted in their deaths.
I also think that every work-life balance, I mean, different stages of life, but like just different capacities. Like, you know, Natalie, when she does something, she goes big and she usually accomplishes it. You don't have to go big all the time. And you shouldn't really compare yourself to others because sometimes like you might not be able to go as hard
All the time.
Yeah, like you might like I was thinking about you, Amy, and I don't know if can we talk about the Everything All at Once event?
This was when I was volunteering for that organization, yeah.
Yeah, so Amy did an Everything All at Once. Now, usually these are all like individual events, but Amy had speed networking, a panel discussion. What else? There was other stuff too.
Yeah, there's speed networking, a panel discussion, mentorship, and some sort of other presentation. I don't know. There was like, and awards for people who recently got licensed. It was like too many things all at once. And I was like, this is my big bang. And actually people did enjoy it, but it was a lot of work. A lot of work. It was in one event.
Yeah, it's kind of like these episodes that our producer here, Travis, who said, okay, well, why don't y'all try to make like shorter episodes? And then we met yesterday and like we're going through them all and like we all wrote like episodes or episodic like could be multiple things.
You typically, so people know how we prep for these episodes. So we have like usually 3 segments that we try to accomplish in each episode. So each one of us take the lead on each one of them. But then obviously you have one, Amy had one, and myself, and they were all like they were like, we could do an episode of each one. So there were a lot of information that we wanted to share.
I kept on like, we'll stick to 5 key bullet points, and it just exploded. Like, I have so much to say about this topic.
Right, and it seemed like different topics within a bigger topic.
Yeah.
I will say, in my defense, I wrote probably the most narrow episode.
That's why we're doing it later.
It was the most narrow, and I do think like even now looking at the notes, like I think like we could make this multiple episodes.
But,
so
yeah, and there's so much that we can talk about this now. So we started like saying about the lies of success, right? And we went about multitasking, balanced life. It's not really a balanced life.
Yeah.
And it's more about the act of counterbalancing your life.
Yeah.
So and some of the things that this book talked about, it mentions
the solutions and strategies, right?
Yeah, and this metaphor, like if we imagine life being a game and you're juggling 5 balls, and you know your life, your work, friends, integrity, health, whatever that is for you, and your work ball, your work attention, that would be the rubber, made out of rubber, so it would bounce back and forth between your other facets of your life, your health, your friends, your kids, whatever that is for you. So, and the other ones are made out of glass, and if they fall, what happens with glass? It would break. And sometimes that's true. When if you go too far, and that happens to a lot of people, especially in the business world. They work crazy hours and they travel a lot and they spend months away from the family and friends, and so that I think like work and life, that's something that you have to keep a close eye on and be mindful of. Sometimes you have to pay more attention to your work life, but don't go too far.
That's a great point of like, how do you solve that? Like, what are the solutions to help that counterbalance?
Right.
So how do you improve? What are the like inner work that you need to do essentially to do that? And you had mentioned analyzing the issues and identifying your goals, right? We talked about in the beginning.
Right.
And then
Part of the inner work, right?
Yeah.
So what is your one thing? What would you like to do? What is your passion?
Yeah.
What your priorities in life in the moment of your life, in that moment, that phase of your life? Like obviously that looks different for all of us.
Yeah, when I first graduated, it was my professional career. How do I get ahead? How do I, insert myself into the industry and make a wave, right? Or make a difference in the world or whatever it was. And now this point in my life, it's like building a life with my partner. That's become more of my priority, like having a kid and like what life I can give her.
Yeah.
So it's really giving to someone else instead of being more selfish in what I could do to the world and how impact I could have.
Yes.
So yeah, it definitely shifts, I think.
And it changes all the time. Your priorities, it changes all the time.
Yeah.
I feel like also creating like healthy habits and strategies, that's very important.
Yeah.
And it mentions in the book says also like how the 10% of the things that you do, it produces 90% of your results. And that's part of, if you choose that 10% that is the most important things or priorities in your life, it would give you bigger results, right?
Yeah.
Versus trying to do it all at once, small, bigger tasks and
Yeah, and you have to create. You mentioned creating your own systems. Like
so important. Yeah.
Yeah, that like for me, I focus like we'll break down like even just the chores of the house to have a clean house and like what needs to get done.
For me, I'm still struggling with that one because
really?
My life is like, my job, like my schedule changes every day. I don't know exactly how my week is gonna look like. Day by day, I have to see what I have going on, what showings pop out, like what clients I have to take out, or any like computer work that I have to do, offers, whatever. So it changes every day, and so I kind of have to adapt.
Every day
schedule every day.
You're literally juggling.
Juggling, yeah. So what is the things that I have to do, priorities that I have to do today? And sometimes I have like 10 things on my list.
Yeah, it's a
and so I have to learn how to look like, okay, if I do 3, the most important 3 or 1 or 2, that's okay.
Yeah.
You can do this tomorrow. So just don't be too hard.
I mean,
on yourself.
saying no, setting that boundary,
yeah.
is important to accomplish those tasks in a sense.
I also think like you too, like if you don't mind, like you're kind of like in between things right now because you don't eat. And we went to, before we started working here, we did a practice episode or here at this studio. We did a practice episode at your in-laws place of business, and like half of your possessions were there
Because you're moving.
Yeah, like and I was like, oh I'm like, so that must be not that, I mean, your in-laws are wonderful people, and I'm sure you're managing this wonderfully, but that alone, just still like being in transition
to your new house,
is like
it's definitely a challenge. I think it is an adjustment, just not being at your house, having your privacy, and I mean, definitely we get along super.
So let's
fine,
back up a little bit. So you're living with your in-laws for a short amount of time while your house is being built.
Yes.
So everybody understands what we're talking
we
about.
sold our house, previous house, and we made that decision and we're living now with my in-laws, and we're gonna be there probably for the next few months. But it's working.
Yeah.
We're so grateful that we can at least do that. And
I mean, you have that, support system outside to ask for the help to get to where you want to be.
But to your point, it's definitely I'm in the middle, right? So trying to find my place and waiting to have more stability in my life, in that sense of my life. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I mean, I noticed like when we were in the like in between having the water fixed and it not working 100%, like I wasn't tracking my food. I usually track my food 60 to 80% of the time.
Mm-hmm. That's good.
And that way I kind of know where I am.
Like health-wise?
Yeah. Like I kind of
like counting your calories.
Well, I use Weight Watchers, so they don't count calories. It's like they equate points, which I think in some ways is a healthier way for me.
Okay. Well, it works for you.
Yeah. Well, I really love Weight Watchers. I usually go every week on Thursday nights. And I won't be there because of an event we have tonight. But like, 1, they're super positive. 2, the ladies are so adventurous. They're so funny. Some of the ladies are going on. They're older than my parents, and they're going on a cruise to Antarctica.
The Weight Watcher ladies together?
No,
Like
no, the ladies. Some of the ladies that go to it.
Okay.
Other ladies, like they're all so cool. Everyone in there is so cool. They're so much cooler than I am. And they're talking about like, oh, they're going to like these parties and how they're having trouble managing like what they're going to eat at the parties and stuff like that. And then I'm like, you go to parties. I'm like, I might go to a party.
Well, that's
I have
how
parties,
you keep your
but-
balanced life, right?
Yeah, but they're so cool. They're so cool.
So I also wanted to mention one more thing as part of like success, and the book talks about this too, and it's to dream big. Don't be afraid to think big. If you want to achieve great results and be successful, you cannot be afraid of having big dreams.
Yeah, having that
Big goals.
the long.
Yeah.
There's an important thing of like looking long term versus just short term all the
bigger
time.
picture.
Yeah, the bigger picture.
Not limiting yourself.
Because like if you're just looking at short term things, like where are you going? Like,
Right. Yeah.
Where do you plan to end up?
Yeah,
Like,
just
what's-
setting your goals and just like reverse engineering your goals to the day and see what do you have to do today to achieve that, right?
Yeah, you talked about working backwards from your goal, weekly, monthly, yearly to get there. And reassess as you go. Like it might shift, you know?
Shift, yeah.
You can't just be so fixated on that one thing that you throw out your thumb.
Yes.
You just
Yes. And the other thing is mindfulness and recovery, which
Yeah.
we kind of touched on that, and taking small breaks consistently and just being proactive. But, mindfulness, whatever that looks like for you, could be just going to the beach or grounding or doing meditation, listening to music, or just doing a hobby that you like.
Or eating healthy is a big thing for me.
Yeah. So building successful habits. And by the way, they say that it takes about 60 days to build a habit.
Okay.
So if you can keep at it for like 2 months, with that, like for me, it's like waking up at 5:30 for 66 days and doing
thank you.
meditation. That looks so amazing.
It sounds amazing.
Only if I
don't
can't
know.
sleep all night because my son will let me.
I don't know if it sounds amazing, but the actual practice of doing it, that just sounds miserable to me.
No, if you wake up like, ooh, excited,
refreshed and energized.
And you had a good night's
I mean,
sleep.
there might be a shift. I mean, there has to be like a block in the middle of like where you reach that euphoria feeling and like actually achieving it. So I don't know where that is. I
But
haven't.
you feel so good after doing your meditation. Like, it's like, if
But
I could
at
do that in the morning
5?
before leaving my house, that would be great.
But what would be
I know.
okay? So let's say for some reason that's
I know
not.
I might be making excuses. I probably just have to like do it.
I mean, that's like to your willpower. I don't have the willpower to wake up that like, and that's what we talk about with this also is willpower, managing energy, difficult tasks in the morning. Like, oh my God, I can't even, I am incoherent. I just grunt in the morning. I'm not a morning person. It's bad.
Oh, there's a reason
But
why.
what time do you go to bed? I don't want to say it.
Well, lately it's been a lot later because I've been trying to accomplish a few things.
You've been
'cause
working late.
You've been working a little late to catch up, but usually 10:30, 11. It's
Okay,
not
that's
that
not
bad.
What about you?
About the same. Except for last night, like I was watching, like I just sometimes have nights when I can't sleep. And like it was like my sister was flying back from Denver, and I know where all my family is, including my grandparents. So I'm fine, my friends right here at all times. I mean, don't you want to know that your grandparents are at their house and at their house
You mean
and always at their
share
house?
your location with your
Yeah,
family
yeah,
and
yeah,
friends?
find
I
my
don't
friend.
do that. I don't know.
You don't want to know where your grandparents are at
I
all
at some
times?
point had your location.
Let's talk about that for a
Well,
second.
here, okay, let me give the preface.
I don't know how. I think it's when we went to Europe.
Yeah.
We shared the locations. Right?
Yeah.
Which we have to talk
Yeah,
about
we have to
that
talk about that for a
another
hot
episode,
second.
but
So maybe we can do that in another.
I don't know how
I actually
Brian
think,
left us alone. That was the worst thing.
Yeah, we'll talk about our adventures in Europe another time.
so Amy, hi. So just to let y'all know that Amy, her family calls her Lucy in the mornings because she's
No, Lucy is a different, like, that's a whole different story.
Oh, I thought that was just because you're grumpy in the mornings.
No, they call me the monster
You
because I'm
always
grumpy.
been grumpy in the morning?
I have been the worst. And my daughter has inherited.
Oh,
she
no.
literally yells at me, no, I want sleep, bed, crib, no, not getting up. Like, she doesn't say full sentences, but
that's what she meant. That's
Oh
what she
yeah,
meant.
she's angry in the morning, that girl. But no, they call me the monster because of that. Lucy was a whole different story. I was a stubborn child and I thought Lucy was the best name ever and I wouldn't answer to any name but Lucy.
But lose it. When did you lose that? You were okay with being called Amy?
I'm still stubborn.
So are you guys okay with wrapping up now, or do you?
Yeah,
want,
I think
Yeah.
we've pretty much touched all the points that we wanted to touch base, and basically the takeaways is, there is a lot of lights about success and mystical things, or myth, I will say. Myth,
Yeah, a lot of myths on how you
about
can do it,
business,
yeah.
around business and lifetime management. So just counterbalance your life and take breaks, watch your health, be
Yeah.
out with family and friends, take work when work needs to be done, just put your attention on that. And
But also, like, you can start small.
Yeah.
Like you wrote down, pick one small change this week to create more
Yeah.
space for what matters.
Yes.
Then build from there.
Yes.
And I think that's really important.
Yeah.
Is just like, don't be overwhelmed to take the first step.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. And don't be afraid of change. And I think as human beings, all of us, we are resistant to change at some point. I mean, I feel like we are always afraid of the unknown, even though, I mean, like in my case, I push forward even
A
at
lot.
whatever. Like I take that risk. Like I'm
Yeah.
not afraid. I know I am afraid, but I do it anyhow.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So I feel like all of us, like making those small changes and just little steps. It doesn't have to be big steps, right?
Yeah, and I think like okay, so maybe you don't wake up at 5:30. Maybe you wake up at 6:50, 6:45.
And take
You
that
know,
15 minutes.
Yeah,
forget
like make like time like the just and
Yeah.
also you kind of had to know yourself.
Well, I didn't wake up at 5:30 today. Although I put the alarm at 5:30, but my son woke up a lot last night. I didn't have
no.
yes, so
Yeah.
then I have to do my meditation somewhere today at some time.
Yeah.
Later today or
Sometimes I just do it in the car while I pull in before I walk into my house. I have a minute to myself.
Yeah.
And it's important to take that like 5
Yeah.
minutes of not getting out of your car. And that's
Yeah.
okay.
yeah. But
So I'm sorry. I
What?
didn't mean to cut you off.
no, go ahead.
I mean, sleep is like the most important thing. If you don't wake up at 5:30, don't beat yourself up about that.
I know.
If you
Yeah.
sleep is like for me, like if I don't, yeah, a lot of times you got to get up, you got to muster through, but like maybe sleeping that extra 2 hours or hour and a half or whatever it is more important than doing.
Yeah,
You can
I think
function
it's
throughout the
listening to
day.
your, at the end of the day, it's listening to your
your
body,
body.
and what makes sense for you. Like,
Right.
it's good to set that
And
goal, but
adapting,
listen,
just
yeah.
going with the flow sometimes.
So, yeah. So,
All
this
right.
was a good
Well,
episode.
thank you
yeah.
so much. And as always, we are in all the platforms where you listen to podcasts.
Yeah,
And
please.
we also are on social media. We have an Instagram and Facebook account, and it's the Real Pink Diaries, both of them. So this was really good.
Yeah.
I liked the discussion, and I learned from you guys your experiences, and I can't wait for the next episodes to touch. We have so much more coming up that we're gonna have to make different seasons, like the shows.
Yeah, but thank you so much for, I don't know,
Yeah.
tuning in. I don't know what to call it, but thank
Yeah.
you so much for spending time with us, and I'm excited to, talk about the next topic with you guys.
Yeah, me too.
Bye, you guys.
Thank you all. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening. We had so much fun, and we look forward to spending time with you in the next episode.
Please subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook at The Real Pink Diaries. You can also find us on YouTube. Check out our show notes for additional ways to connect with us.
See you next time.
Bye.